Imagine you're the last one awake. Everyone else in your group is asleep around the fire, and you're staring into the dark past the edge of the light. You know there are others out there, other bands, other faces, but none of them are close. Not tonight, not for days in any direction. And you have this thought, small and uncomfortable. What if something happened to all of them right now, and I was the only one left? That thought probably feels dramatic, like a thing from a movie. But for most of human history, it wasn't hypothetical. It was a live possibility, sitting right under the surface of every single day. And the question of whether early humans felt lonely, actually, biologically, psychologically lonely, turns out to have a much stranger answer than yes or no. Today, loneliness feels like a modern problem. You can be lonely in a city of 10 million people. You can feel isolated while scrolling through hundreds of messages. It seems like a side effect of modern life. Too much noise, not enough connection. But that framing gets it backwards. Loneliness isn't a bug that showed up with skyscrapers and smartphones. It's an alarm system that's been running uninterrupted for hundreds of thousands of years. And understanding why it exists tells you something unsettling about what it was built to prevent. Start with the numbers. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, the closest living approximation we have to ancient human life, consistently find band sizes hovering around 25 to 50 people. Not because that's the maximum humans can tolerate, but because that's roughly the size a small group can sustain long-term without starving. Below a certain number, a band couldn't share enough labor, defend itself, or absorb bad luck. A single hunting injury, a single bad season, could be the difference between a group that survives and one that doesn't. Which means the group wasn't a preference. It was the actual boundary between life and death. And that changes what loneliness is for. It's not a mood. It's a warning light on the dashboard, wired directly into your nervous system, telling you you have drifted too far from the thing that keeps you alive. There's a researcher named John Cacioppo who spent decades studying this, and his argument is blunt. He compared loneliness to physical pain. Pain exists to stop you from ignoring a wound. Loneliness exists to stop you from ignoring social disconnection, because for almost all of human history, social disconnection was just as lethal as a wound, just slower. And the body treats it that way. Chronic loneliness triggers measurable increases in stress hormones, disrupted sleep, weakened immune response, the same physiological profile as someone under sustained physical threat. Your body isn't being dramatic when isolation feels bad. It's responding to a threat that used to be real. So if loneliness really is an alarm system, the next question is obvious. What was it actually built to warn against?